Salutations to all. Welcome to this edition of Battle in the Trenches. I'm your host, as always, Jonders. I'm joined by two of my good internet buddies. First up, we have Steve Catalano. Steve, say hi.
What's up, guys? We're back. We're back on the show. I'm ready to beat Ryan's butt in this game. Week 3. Yeah, Smack Talk it's starting early. Got all this...
We're already getting some butt talk in. Now, to my favorite butt, Ryan McGinley. Ryan, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Jonders, it's great to have you back after a week hiatus. You know, Steve tried to carry the show.
No, cut him off. No. Director, play the clip.
Jonders isn't here. He's a little under the weather. But the way that you plugged everything that we needed to plug in like this episode, 3 or 4, where we haven't done, I'd say Jonders is on the hot seat. So, look out for that next week.
So what do you have to say about that? I be watching out for Steve taking my place. What do you have to say for yourself?
Listen, we both know my strategy in this game is to kiss the host ass.
Yeah.
So I went for Steve last week, but you're back, so I'm glad to have you back.
A lot of butt talk so far. Let's see how that goes for the rest of the show. We already have a butt, we have an ass. Let's see how that plays out. All right, so first off, let's do a hybrid of newsstand and also a hybrid of doctor's office. Okay, guys. There's an injury bug going around the NFL, and sadly, it's impacting the quarterback position the most. Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Nick Foles in Week 1. Who else do we have? Cam Newton may or may not be playing this Sunday. Eli Manning, he doesn't have an injury bug. He's just old. Can we get a quick response from Steve on all this going on and what this means in the fantasy world?
Yeah, the quarterback position is a wasteland. If you're in a deep league or a 2-quarterback league, it is thin. You're on the waiver wire. You're picking up Daniel Jones, new New York Giants starter. That is ugly. Mason Rudolph, Teddy Bridgewater. It's week 3, and we're talking about these guys. That is incredible. I love it, though. It's part of the game. If you're able to throw one of those guys in the lineup and they get you big points, you're feeling good.
In one of my 2-quarterback leagues, I drafted Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, so we'll see how that turns out for me. All right, Ryan McGinley, really quick. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, on top of the guys that have gotten injured, the guys that are playing haven't been good either. So everyone's scouring the wire for a quarterback. If you drafted Kirk Cousins, if you drafted Derek Carr, you obviously didn't listen to me or Jonders, but you got a bad quarterback. These guys that are coming in might bring some life. We saw last night, Luke Falk actually wasn't terrible for the New York Jets. I'm excited to see what these young guys can do. I think Mason Rudolph will be fine for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm excited about Danny Dimes. He's going to bring some energy. He's getting Golden Tate back soon, so I'm pumped. They're not going to do anything in the NFC East, so what does it matter?
When did he get that name? Danny Dimes.
Oh, Danny Dimes.
Oh, me and Jonders text late night about Danny Dimes. You know what I mean?
We do text late at night. So Falk looked great against the Cleveland Browns in Week 2. Against the Patriots, though, in Week 3. I don't know. Let's hold our breath on Luke Falk a little bit. All right, let's. That's in unison true. I love it. All right, let's go to Ryan first. Give me a runner-up and your must-start quarterback this week.
Yeah, so my runner-up here is Jimmy G. He's got the Steelers, and the Steelers are reeling. They just traded for Minka Fitzpatrick, but, it's not like he's going to be really ready for that game. They're giving up yards. You saw Russell Wilson play real well last week, and, I don't love how the Steelers are looking just overall as a team. But, my start this week has to be Matt Stafford against my Birds. I know for a fact that he's got experience with Jim Schwartz, and that's not good for any defensive coordinator. Plus, the Eagles 31st in pass defense, so they've been getting eaten up over the top. So look for Matt Stafford to have a good week this week.
I think you just favorably compared Jimmy Garoppolo to Russell Wilson, so you're not moving down the field. All right, Steve, give me your runner-up and must-start a quarterback.
My runner-up quarterback is Josh Allen versus Cincinnati. He has been solid for you this year. He produced, I think he's a QB1, fringe QB1, but he's kind of hitting his stride, and he's got a good matchup against Cincinnati this week at home. Really like him there. But my start of the week quarterback is Phillip Rivers versus Houston. I don't think Houston looks that great. They played a pretty mediocre game against Jacksonville. And Phillip Rivers is just better at home. He plays better at home with Eckler rolling, Keenan Allen. Mike Williams seems to be a little healthier. They're lacking Hunter Henry, but I like Phillip Rivers probably to throw 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. He's my lock QB this week.
Steve, moving down the field. He's at the 50-yard line now. Steve, we're going to stay with you. Give me your runner-up and your must-sit. So someone who you definitely shouldn't sit and someone who you shouldn't sit.
All right, well, you shouldn't. No, wait, you should sit. You should sit Jared Goff at Cleveland. I own Jared Goff in a couple spots, and I played him week 1 in Carolina thinking, hey, the home road split, it might not be true with Jared Goff. He just got paid. Well, it seems like it's true right away. I mean, even at home, he wasn't that great against New Orleans. So I'm sitting Jared Goff at Cleveland. And my sit of the week is Baker Mayfield. Now, you might be you saw Monday Night Football, and, he threw for over 300 yards and a touchdown to Odell Beckham. I really like that connection. It's growing. Yeah, I do see the connection growing, but I'm still not impressed with Baker. He's still widely inaccurate on certain passes, and we just really can't trust him. Baker's the kind of guy that I would stash on my bench and have if I have another guy I can play ahead of him, I would. And then once he starts to break out and get rolling, which I do see, I'm still high on the Browns, so I see Baker Mayfield get going, but I don't want to keep testing the waters with him. I want a couple high yardage games and a couple multi-touchdown games before I start him.
I'm kind of perplexed. I'm gonna hold. I might move you down the field after I hear Ryan's argument. Ryan, give me someone who's definitely not gonna make it onto the field for you, and someone who might, in a disaster situation, make it on the field for you, but you don't want to have him on the field.
Yep,
That's too confusing. Just give me your sits. Give me your sits. Dear Lord.
Yeah. So we're recording this on Tuesday, and we found out a couple hours ago that Cam Newton has a bad foot. I mean, the way Cam Newton has played his entire career, I mean, he's kind of been reckless, but, I mean, he plays every game. Like, that's his thing. He wants to be in those games. That's why he played last week. So I respect that, but I'm not playing him this week. I mean, I can't trust him, and I'm definitely not playing Will Grier if he comes in for him. But my main sit, Jameis Winston. I mean, can we trust this guy at this point? I can't. He's playing a bad Giants team, so they might get on top of them early, and the thing with Jameis is he needs to throw to get his fantasy points, so he's not getting garbage time points, against the Giants. So, I mean, I expect to sit him across all formats.
I'm a simple man. If you start talking smack about Jameis Winston, I will move you down the field. Ryan moves down the field. They're both at the 50 now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get down to running backs, everybody. Steve, give me your runner-up and your must-start of the week at running back.
Quick take. What did I say week 1? Tampa Bay offense might be some fool's gold with Bruce Arians coming in, and it's kind of proven out that way. So that's a wait and see. But my running back start this week, one of them is Raheem Mostert against Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh's got a pretty good run D, but, hey, the 49ers are running the ball, and they're using all their running backs. Mostert had a good game in the air and on the ground, got in the end zone. I like him as a start this week. Put him in your lineup. But my start of the week might be surprising, as I was off this guy all season long, or for the whole season, but it's Aaron Jones. Last week was really encouraging. They gave him 27 touches with the football, over 100 yards on the ground, 30 yards through the air with 6 targets. I mean, that is some prime running back numbers. You're not going to see any running back in the league get more than that. So if they can continue even close to that or a little less to that, giving him the ball, home against Denver, it doesn't scare me. Denver, yeah, kind of a scary-ish matchup, but if they're going to get the run game going, hopefully they know that the last game, Aaron Jones rolling, helped them get the W. So against Denver, I like Aaron Jones in the lineup.
Steve, I think we have very similar paths towards coming around on Aaron Jones in fantasy. You're going to the 25-yard line. Ryan, give me your must start and your runner-up at running back.
So my runner-up is Peyton Barber. I mean, he's going to be in an offense that should be up the entire game against that New York Football Giants team. So, I mean, that's kind of a pair with my Jameis Winston take, that I think that they're going to have to run the ball. I mean, they're not going to get too cute. Bruce Arians has never gotten too cute with football. And we were told that Ronald Jones, I see the face you're making. He's never been too cute.
I'm going to be sick.
But we were told that Ronald Jones was going to get more touches last week, and it was quite the opposite. Peyton Barber finished with 60% of the snaps. So it's his backfield. And my main start is actually whoever starts for Buffalo. I mean, if it's Devin Singletary and he's cleared, you start Devin Singletary, because they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Through the first 2 weeks, I saw this on Twitter, they've given up 2 running back 1 and 2 running back 2 weeks. So that means they're giving up a running back 1
Ryan,
and
very
2.
quickly, Ryan, very quickly, Ryan, give me your best Bruce Arians impression.
Just be a grumpy old man with a Jeff
you got
cap?
the hat?
No, this is it. The NFL won't let me wear my Kangol on the sidelines. That's it. All right, Ryan's moving 25 yards.
I like it.
Okay, Steve, who are you sitting? Who are some running backs that you want to sit?
This might be surprising, but I'm sitting Josh Jacobs. I like the volume he's gotten for the Raiders in the first couple games.
No,
but they're going up to Minnesota. I don't like Oakland on the road in Minnesota. I got this bad vision that it's not going to be a good game for them. And Minnesota's going to run the ball all over them, and they're going to win that game pretty decidingly. But my sit of the week is Devonta Freeman. I'm not off Devonta Freeman for the season, but they're going to Indianapolis. I think he's totaled like under 50 all-purpose yards for the first 2 games of the season. And until we see something, that's just one of those players you're not going to drop. Maybe you can get a trade in him, or maybe you can trade him to someone who wants him. But you just put him on your bench until he starts to get rolling. He's got the upside to be an RB1, or probably not RB1, but a good RB2. But he's not showing it yet. So until he does, he's on the bench.
Yeah, I grabbed Freeman in pretty much all my leagues in the 3rd or 4th round. And it's been frustrating. So, Steve, you find the end zone first. 7-0 game right here. But Ryan's going to get the chance to push the ball to the end zone himself with his running back sits.
So, my main running back sit is Kerryon Johnson at Philadelphia. I mean, it's very obvious what teams are going to do against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's not run the ball. I mean, they're throwing the ball against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I expect the same thing to happen this week. I mean, last week, Devonta Freeman was bottled up. Do you even remember seeing him on the field? Not really. And, I mean, the week before that, I think the Redskins had 40 yards. So I don't want to play any running backs against the defensive line with Fletcher Cox. But I'm also sitting Joe Mixon. On what?
No, I'm sorry. It was my bad. I got a push notification right before we started recording that a Lions running back was cut. And I don't know. I wanted to make sure we had the right one. So, sorry.
Yeah, you're good. It was C.J. Anderson. So, I mean, But,
yeah.
But I'm also saying Joe Mixon at Buffalo because Buffalo's great. Joe Mixon's banged up. And, I mean, they can toss Gio Bernard in if they don't like what Joe Mixon's doing with his 15 carries for 27 yards this year. Wow. So, sit Joe Mixon.
Ryan, little homerism there. Going against the Lions for the Philly. But I believe you. I don't think you're just a guy that's always going to, be painting a rosy picture about his Eagles. So I like this.
Touchdown.
Right. Next up, what do we have? We have wide receivers. So, Steve, I'm going to go back to you for a couple of wide receivers that you think everybody out there should be starting.
This was a late second ad, but Larry Fitz. He's gotten over 10 targets. I think he's got like 24 or 25 targets in the first 2 games with Kyler Murray starting. I like that. Obviously, Kyler Murray's leaning on the veteran. And he's gone over 100 yards both games. So start Larry Fitz against Carolina, and they're at home. But my start of the week is actually any Chiefs wide receiver. I actually heard this strategy today is that if you have any Chiefs players who are legitimate fantasy starters, flex plays, just put them in your lineup because Pat Mahomes is probably going to throw for 100 yards to that receiver. But Demarcus Robinson last week over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, if you pick him up on the waiver, he's going right into your lineup, and you feel good about it, even against the Ravens. I'm easily putting him in my lineup. If you have Mecole Hardman, put him in there. With Tyreek Hill gone, they're not going to slow down throwing the ball. This is not a run-first team. This is a throw-first team. Pat Mahomes looks better than last year. I'm starting every Chiefs player I can see on the roster. I'll start practice squad player if they come up on the big league roster.
I would have just dropped the mic after I said any Chiefs wide receiver. I think that was good enough. You moved to the 50. Ryan, let's go. Yep. Let's hear some wide receivers that you're starting.
I'm starting DJ Chark. I mean, he's got a rapport with Gardner Minshew. And, I mean, he's been a PPR stud. I think he's got 12 catches through the first 2 weeks. So, I mean, he's on a lot of waiver wires. If you read my waiver article, I think he's owned in 12% of leagues. So
where can they read that? Where can they read that
at climbthepocket.com, Jonders. So
wow! Everybody should go to climbthepocket.com. That's great. Yeah.
Exactly. So start DJ Chark, pick him up, and at least flex him because I mean he's 6 catches a game, and that's where I'd go with that. And you said I was an Eagles homer, but I'm starting Marvin Jones this week.
There you
against the Philadelphia Eagles because the wide receiver 2 in the last 2 games against the Eagles over 100 yards and a touchdown each week. So Terry McLaurin had 125 yards and a touchdown, and Calvin Ridley I think had 108 yards and a touchdown. So the deep threat against the Eagles is a legitimate issue for them. So, I mean, I'd start Marvin Jones and feel like he's going to score a touchdown.
If anybody out there was wondering, Ryan McGinley is the Minshew of the Climb the Pocket office. He's often going around in nothing but a jock strap. He's got a cool mustache.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we later put in a mustache over Ryan? All right. You're moving to the 50-yard line. Now let's go to some wide receivers we're avoiding like the plague. Steve.
Before I get this, I just want to thank everyone for sticking around this far and to make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Some wide receiver sits. My runner-up, Brandin Cooks at Cleveland. This kind of goes along with Jared Goff. I could see Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp kind of being the safety blanket for Jared Goff if he does, to rack up some yardage. Obviously, he's going to throw for some yardage, but I don't like Brandin Cooks going against Denzel Ward. So I sit him. And then Jarvis Landry is my sit of the week versus the Rams in that same game. He just hasn't been reliable, and I didn't think he was going to be reliable coming into the season. He's a guy I would not have drafted, but Odell Beckham seems to be coming into full form with Baker Mayfield. So I'm keeping Jarvis Landry on the bench until his role increases and they go more pass heavy.
Ryan, who are some of your wide receiver sets?
So, even though he was a big waiver wire pickup for me last week, I'm sitting Terry McLaurin. I mean, he's playing the Chicago Bears, and it feels like a cop-out every single week, but don't play anybody against the Chicago Bears. That's how good their defense is. And, I mean, do you think Case Keenum's going to fare well against that defense? I don't think so, so I'm sitting him. And I'm also sitting Curtis Samuel because I don't know how Cam Newton is going to respond in the next couple days.
If he plays.
If he plays, exactly. So I'm not playing Curtis Samuel because he's the receiver that's routes take the longest to develop on that offense. I mean, DJ Moore still might be a player, but I'm sitting Curtis Samuel this week.
Ryan, inching towards the goal line. He's now at the 25-yard line. Steve, I'm going to go to you for tight ends.
Tight end starts?
Tight end starts.
All right, my runner-up, Will Dissly. Play the country music because he's going against New Orleans, and they just lost Drew Brees, so they're probably their spirits are down.
Is Will Dissly a Southerner? Is this something I don't know about him? Why are we playing country music?
No, it just sounds like he should be wearing a cowboy hat.
All
Will
right.
Dissly.
Okay.
All right, he caught 2 touchdowns last week, and we've seen this before last year, so throw him in your lineup. Why not? If you're weak at tight end, you lost Hunter Henry, and you're playing the waiver wire, put in Will Dissly. But a guy I'm starting this week at San Francisco, and this is also a dart throw, but Vance McDonald. I mean, yeah, they just lost Ben Roethlisberger, but Mason Rudolph's coming in. We know we've got a rapport with different players like James Washington and whatnot, and obviously the first thing people think of when a backup quarterback comes in is, where's their safety blanket? And maybe maybe Vance McDonald could be that safety blanket. We know he's very physical. He can lay down the stiff arm. We saw that video last year.
Last year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, whatever. This year, I think he can do the same thing.
Chris Conte.
Yeah, everyone knows that. I should cue the video. We'll see. But Vance McDonald, throw him in the lineup. I think he could see like 6-7 targets and possibly find the end zone, 60 yards. I think it's a pretty good stringer.
Steve, I'm going to give you 25 points, even though I just said something you said. Everybody knows it. I'm still going to give you the 25 yards, though. So you're both at the 25-yard line, inching towards that goal line. Ryan, give me some tight ends to stay away from and to sit.
Well, I got to start some, too, Jonders.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I got all in my head after that. Oh, everybody knows about the Chris Conte. All right. Okay, Ryan. Please give the starts.
Yep, so I'm starting Austin Hooper this week because Darius Leonard is in concussion protocol and Pierre Desir has a bad ankle or knee. He's got a bad lower body below his waist. It hurts. All I'm saying is I love Austin Hooper in that offense. I mean, there's enough passes to go around in that offense, so I'm starting him for sure. I'm also starting, on stipulation if Cam Newton plays, Greg Olsen because he's trying to get rid of the ball. I mean, we saw last week that if he's playing and he's banged up, he's looking for a safety blanket. Greg Olsen had 8 catches for over 100 yards. He looked like Greg Olsen. A little slower, but I'd start Greg Olsen this week.
Someone who I don't like once got into a Twitter fight with Austin Hooper, so I'm going to give you those points.
Nice.
You're going in the end zone. 14-7, Ryan McGinley. All right.
Touchdown.
Steve, how about now we go to some tight ends that we're going to sit?
All right, well, we're sitting Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham put up a goose egg last week against Minnesota. Denver's not that much of a better matchup, so I'm sitting Jimmy Graham. And then my sit of the week is who else than O.J. Howard, who might not just be a sit of the week, he might be the drop of the week because he has had 0 fantasy points through 2 weeks. So O.J. Howard cannot be starting in your lineup. If you like him enough or it's a deep enough league, you can put him on your bench. But no one's going to blame you if you drop him, and I guarantee not everyone in your league is going to go run to pick him up. We've heard quotes from Bruce Arians saying he'll touch the ball when he touches the ball or whatever. No clarity. There's nothing. The offense doesn't look great. Jameis looks bad.
Bruce Arians. No, Bruce Arians didn't say that. Did he say that?
He'll
touch the ball when he touches the ball.
I think he did say something like that.
Loosely interpreted via Steve, but yeah, he said.
Yeah, it was loose, but he.
So now it's loose. Oh dear Lord. This is a family show, Steve.
All I know is Bruce Arians gave us no clarity whether O.J. Howard is doing anything wrong. Will he get involved in the offense in the future? We don't know. I'm dropping him. I'm just dropping him. And I'm picking up Greg Olsen or something and just going from there. He's not going to lose your fantasy leagues if you drop him. So.
Well, if Steve's going to drop these balls before OJ can touch them, he's going into the end zone. It's 14 all. Next up, we're going to have Ryan talk about his tight end sits. Yep. So, I don't know, man. This show's off the rails. Ryan, please get us back on track. Please, I beg you.
I'm trying. So, I'm sitting Delanie Walker against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Great. Okay.
Because I love the linebackers in Jacksonville. I think Marcus Mariota is just as bad as Derek Carr. And I think the Jaguars are going to have to run the ball. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of time for any team to throw the ball. So I'm not starting Delanie Walker. And I'm not starting Jared Cook because Jared Cook has been brutal for anyone that expected him to be a sleeper. Plus he's playing Seattle, who have very similar linebackers. And Jared Cook, slow and kind of old. And he's dropped many passes in that offense with a quarterback that's new. So I'm not starting Jared Cook at all.
Here's the deal, Ryan. I wasn't listening, and it doesn't matter because you're both at the 25-yard line, and you're both going to move to the 50-yard line for our next Twitter segment. So it doesn't matter. Do you want the 25 yards or not? I mean, it doesn't really matter because you're moving up either way.
If I'm me in fantasy, I'd prefer an extra point out of my quarterback, yeah.
You're not getting it. You guys are both moving up to the 50 for the Hail Mary Twitter segment. First up, we're going to go to Ryan with this question from @360FFB. Who is this guy? All right. Thoughts on Juju without Big Ben? Oh, wait, no. Okay, I see what he's saying. Thoughts on Juju with Big Ben out for the season? So, Ryan, that's yours.
I was already skeptical of Juju Smith-Schuster this year because he saw secondary coverage, and he now sees secondary coverage without his quarterback. And I mean, I can cop out and say Mason Rudolph threw to James Washington, so he already has a rapport there. But I mean, there's something to be held with that. I don't think Juju's the top 5 wide receiver people expected him to be this year, but I think he's still a very serviceable back end of wide receiver 1, early wide receiver 2. So he's not even as good as he was last year as the number 2 there, but I still think he's very good as a wide receiver 1.5.
I was about to say, who do I want to hang out with, Juju or Antonio Brown? Obviously, Juju. Who do I want playing on my football team? Honestly, probably Juju still. But I get your point. You're getting a touchdown. It's 21-14. What I'm saying is that Antonio Brown's clearly a garbage person. I don't want
touchdown.
To Anyways, is that controversial?
Let's not talk about
All right.
No,
Steve. Okay, this is from Darth _Jax, Steve. Trade for Goff or Josh Allen. First of all, what kind of league is this? Where I don't want.
I agree. I'm trading.
Who are you trading for? I don't understand this
question. I'm not trading for a quarterback in any league, but I don't know the context of the league. Jay, when you submit these Twitter questions, add a little context. What type of league it is? Is it a 2-quarterback league, super flex? Because maybe you're trading for Josh Allen, but I'm assuming he's on the waiver wire or he's your second QB in most leagues. But I guess if you were trading for one of these guys, I would trade for Josh Allen? I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I feel like they're evenly. I like Jared Goff, the upside with him, but Josh Allen could be a fantasy star. I'm just not trading for either of these guys. I don't even know how to answer this question. Josh Allen.
You did it wrong because Jared Goff is the right answer. So we're moving on. This is for Ryan. Is Josh Allen going to be a better option than Baker Mayfield going forward @Coach Harry? Well, Coach Harry, if you're a coach, you pick your own guy. Okay, no, I'm joking. All right, answer.
So, for this, right, this week, my waivers are going to go through, so my league mates can find out that I'm picking up Josh Allen, if possible, to start over my Baker Mayfield. But for the remainder of the season, it's Baker Mayfield. I mean, the rapport is not fully there with that team. Nick Chubb still isn't fully, I don't know, he doesn't look like the RB1 that we expect him to be, but he's going to get there. And they've got Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry and David Njoku. So that's pretty much all you need to know. I mean, it's Baker Mayfield once he figures it completely out with OBJ, and I think he might have last night.
Yeah. All right. 28-14. Steve.
Touchdown.
What's the equivalent trade for Aaron Rodgers? If you were trading a RB or WR wide receiver and running back, for him, what would be a fair trade at DJKCD?
Well, I guess.
Where is this question? What's the equivalent trade value for Aaron Rodgers if you're trading a running back or wide receiver?
What would you trade for Rodgers?
What would be a fair trade?
I get the question.
Okay. I got it. It took me a second.
This question, I guess, is garbage time because I'm down by 2 touchdowns. Unless I can somehow sprint 150 yards back and forth and I get 2 touchdowns for us. But I'm going to answer again. I'm not really trying to trade for a quarterback, but if someone wants to take Aaron Rodgers off your hands, that's fine. Oh, wait, he wants Aaron Rodgers. Okay, what's an equivalent for Aaron Rodgers? I mean, you're looking at trading like a wide receiver 3, maybe? I guess it depends on how
Steve, whatever. I'm just giving you 21 points. For a bonus touchdown, which will tie it, I'm looking at Pro Football Focus's top 5 quarterbacks. Can you name me 3 quarterbacks before you get 3 wrong? So try to list all 5 quarterbacks that are in PFF's top 5, and if you could do it without naming 3 incorrect ones, you will get a touchdown. Does that make sense?
Top 5 beginning of the season?
So through 2 weeks, these are the top 5 quarterbacks as graded by Pro Football Focus.
Okay. Ryan, go first. Wait.
No, it's
no,
you.
Ryan's not in on this. This is just for you.
Is Lamar Jackson one of them?
He's number 2.
Can I
Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is not on the top 5.
That's a lie.
So that's hey, no, it's not. I'm looking at it right
here. What's he
done
wrong?
That's not the point. Keep on. Let's go.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is on the top 5.
Okay. How about Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton is not in the top 5. I would have to scroll down to find him.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is in the top 5. He's number 5. No, you need to name. Wrong. Wait, no, I think you did. No, I think that is how I set it up. You win. So it's 28-28. And wow, all right. So now for the tiebreaker.
Touchdown.
So for the tiebreaker, I'm still on Pro Football Focus.
Oh boy.
So whoever name a running back, and whoever is the higher rated running back wins. So that's how we're doing this tiebreaker. So Ryan, you're first. Name a running back.
I'm gonna go Saquon.
All right.
Saquon Barkley is number 10. So now what Steve needs to do is name a top 9 running back according to Pro Football Focus through 2 weeks.
Come on. Who's the number one? Who's the number 1 running back right now? It's Dalvin Cook for the Vikings.
Ooh.
Dalvin Cook is number 3, but that is higher than number 10. Steve wins. Steve gets to tell you why you should subscribe to Battle in the Trenches and Climb the Pocket on YouTube and go to @ClimbThePocket on Twitter. Steve, the floor is yours. Please tell us what the fans should be doing.
You should just be following me because Ryan just doesn't give good fantasy advice. And when you watch the show, just mute Ryan's parts and just come for me. But hey, subscribe to the channel.
Don't do that.
Subscribe to the channel.
Okay.
Steve is 2-4 and he comes out with
so you always get a notification. Hit the bell, guys, so you always get a notification when we upload a new video. Be on the watch out Thursday night before Thursday Night Football. You can watch us every Thursday evening before you have to set your lineups, and go to @ClimbThePocket on Twitter for all the news in between time. All right, so for Steve and Ryan, I've been Jonders. Good night, and get home safe. Bye, everybody.